phase right now whereas it's a difficult phase, yeah, in a way, because people are locked down. Almost one third of the population of the world these days is locked in their homes. And I was just reading that how even WHO is feeling that this is, creating another kind of difficulty for people as far as mental health is concerned. So people have this challenge of, how to stay uplifted, especially when there is so much of news around, which is creating panic, which is creating fear, which is understandable, because every day, we see so much being talked about this illness, about this virus. So how can we tackle this fear, from the perspective of yoga? And before I go into the subject, because we are sharing the teachings of this great yoga master, Paramhans Yogananda, let me just share with you what Yogananda feels about fear. Because fear is also one of the emotions, one of the thoughts that our mind taps into. And what Yogananda is saying, and I'm reading from a book which he wrote, he said that the fear is the cause of disease. It is the real germ of all sickness. Dread of disease precipitates the disease. Through the very thought of sickness, you bring it on yourself. If you're constantly afraid of catching a cold, you will be more susceptible to it, no matter what you do to prevent it. Do not paralyze your will and nerves with fear. When anxiety persists in spite of your will, you are helping to create the very experience you are dreading. Also, it is unwise to associate more than is necessary and considerate with people who constantly discuss their own and others' ailments and infirmities. This dwelling on the subject may sow the seeds of apprehension in your mind. Those who are worried they are going to succumb to tuberculosis, cancer, heart trouble should cast out this fear, lest it bring about the unwelcome condition. Those who are already sick and infirm need as pleasant an environment as possible among people who have strong and positive nature to encourage them in positive thoughts and feelings, because thought has great power. Those who serve in hospitals, they seldom fall ill because of their confident attitude. They are vitalized by their energy and strong thoughts. And today, friends, we will be also doing a little affirmation in the end. But let me just take this subject a little deeper, that how Yogananda here is highlighting that fear, he said, is the cause, is the seed of all illness. And in today's scenario, if you see people, when they are talking too much, when they are feeding on the news, which is, perpetuating this fear, there is, all the time, mind is like a blotting paper. It is soaking whatever it is being fed, and as a result, at the end of the day you feel that you are very drained out, you hardly have any willpower left. And that is what Yogananda is saying, that that is what will attract the very illness which we are dreading. So how can we stay away from it? Because one of the most interesting things which I read in Autobiography of a Yogi was that when master said that these thoughts are not created in our own minds, these thoughts are universal, these thoughts are universally rooted, and they are not individually rooted. So what does that mean? So friends, it means that our mind acts like a radio, and just like there are many programs aired in the air, and you can just tune in to any particular channel that you are interested in. Maybe you want to see sports, or you want to watch news, or you want to watch any other program. So just like that, there are all kinds of thoughts in the ether at all the time, and it depends on what quality of thought our mind is tuning into. Now, this is a fabulous thing which I read in Autobiography of a Yogi, because even as a medical doctor, I can tell you that even today, medical science believes that somehow thoughts are produced as a kind of chemical reaction in the brain, which is, I think, a very absurd thing, because thoughts cannot come from a chemical reaction. And here, is lies all the, the key to tune into the right kind of thoughts. And sometimes, I tell my patients also that, okay, let us, if you're watching a horror movie on the video and you're not liking it, so what do? You just change the channel and you start watching something which is more pleasing. And same way, our mind is also having this capacity to tune in and to change the channel in which our mind is tuning into. So let's say if it is always going into fear, it has a capacity to tune in to the right program. And how do we do that? The key here, Master said, Yogananda said, lies in the energy, the chuck. As you must have, you might remember that we discussed that all these electromagnetic spine of our body, as we call the central axis of our body, has electromagnetic centers, and we call them chakras. So when we have these lower three chakras, what we call the Muladhara, the Swadhisthana, and Manipura, these lower three chakras, you can say, are the negative pole of the spine, whereas the upper chakras, they gradually take your energy to the positive pole of the spine. You can say that this is the positive pole of the spine, and lower down at the base of the spine, we have the negative pole. So when our energy is centered in the lower chakras, then correspondingly the thoughts also are of lower quality, and thoughts are also of negative quality. They can be thoughts of hatred, they can be thoughts of anger, they can be thoughts of fear. But at the same time, if our energy is centered in the higher chakras, especially the Vishuddha and the Agya chakra, then our energy becomes more and more positive, and we start tuning into the positive thoughts which are always available all the time. So this is a very interesting thing. And how do we do that? Last time, if you remember, I shared a technique with you where we were doing this diaphragmatic breathing, that how by inhaling and by doing a regulated breathing, we are able to raise our energy level, because breath is a vehicle. And at the same time, in the end, we will do this technique today also, that we try to focus our attention at this point. And the more we do it, because the principle of energy is that it goes in the direction in which our mind is going. So when we put our attention here, energy automatically starts going here. But this concentration has to be very, very deep. It has to be intense. So if you intensely, concentrate here, then your energy comes here, and you will see that your thoughts can change in just a matter of 5 minutes. So let us do this technique, and I think we have about 5 minutes before I give it to Aditya for the next affirmation. And let us do this first double breathing. Inhale twice and exhale. Inhale one more time. Exhale. As you are inhaling, feel that you are inhaling the energy and vitality, and tense all your body muscles as you inhale. And as you exhale, feel that you are expelling all the negativity from your mind, from your thoughts. Let's do it one more time. Inhale, tense all your body muscles, and exhale. Now, with a very relaxed spine, keep your spine straight. If you remember last time, we did talk that why the spine should be kept straight. It should not be kinked so that energy can flow smoothly. There are no blockages. And try to feel that this heart area, which is the Anahat chakra, is connected with this point, which is the point between the spiritual eye, the Agya chakra. It is connected with a shaft of light. So you can close your eyes and feel and visualize that there is a link between these two centers. Try to feel the center behind the chest area, the center of your heart. And so this area, you can visualize that there is a duct which is connecting this heart with the point between the eyebrows to a shaft of light. You can visualize that in your mind. And now, as we are inhaling and exhaling, with each inhalation, let's do this even count breathing, which we did last time. Let us inhale to the count of 4. Hold the breath. Breathe out. Inhale again. Hold the breath. Breathe out. Inhale again. Let's inhale this time to the count of 6. Hold. Breathe out. Inhale again. Hold. Breathe out. Now just observe your breath silently, keeping your eyes closed, and feel that in each breath, as the breath comes in, the energy in this shaft of light uplifts with each breath and comes at this point between the eyebrows, and deeply concentrate at that point. With each breath, bring up the energy, concentrate at that point, see the light. Even if you're not able to see the light there, you can even visualize a circle of light, a circle of golden light or blue light, and keep looking into it with deep, deep intensity. And each time the breath goes down, just relax and feel that this light is coming inside your body with each breathing out. So let's do this exercise for about 2 to 3 minutes. Now take a very long, deep breath and breathe out 3 times. And open your eyes slowly. So we have done this activity for a very short time, but if you will do it intensely at your home for even for 3 to 5 minutes, whenever you get time, you will see that your thoughts and perceptions will change in that moment. And I have tried this many times in my life. It always works. So please do tell us, how do you feel about it? I'll hand it over to Aditya now.
Thank you, Amar. Good evening, everybody. It's really nice to be communicating with you all. I want to say that, first of all, Amar, if you will please share that quote which you read from your phone, that would be really beneficial. You can send it to Barakiel and he can share it with us all later. Right. Because Master is very, very clearly speaking of the exact situation we are finding ourselves in. And as he would often say, you said it from his quote too, that the fear or apprehension or anxiety of something can draw it to us. Now, that's the problem part. Here, let me read a Secret of Health by Swami Kriyananda ji, who is saying, you might say he's providing the solution that even in the face of illness, do not give into its consciousness and you can clearly come out of that. So let's listen to Swamiji. This is a book of Secrets of Radiant Health. This is secret number 19. The secret of radiant health and well-being is affirmation. Affirm good health, even in the face of illness. Positive affirmations, repeated frequently, will keep you radiant and strong. When your light shines brightly, illness will close its eyes and run away. He's saying repeat these affirmations frequently. So what are the times, friends? And I'll tell you what an affirmation is, and we'll do one just in a few minutes. Morning, when you wake up, right there is a very good time to affirm something. Just before you go to sleep is a very good time. Same thing applies for your nap time. Just before you're taking your afternoon nap, when you wake up. If you're a person who meditates, do it right at the end of your meditation, and you will find you're in a state of peace and calmness at that time. And when we affirm, an affirmation is a positive statement of truth. So when we say that, when we visualize that reality, we can very easily manifest it also, especially, as I said, if it's a truthful, if it's in tune with truth, in tune with God. I also want to say that I was very happy hearing from Amar towards the end of that quote. He said that the doctors and those who go to the hospitals, because here's a live example before you. Amar and his wife Mansi, both are doctors. He's a physician, so he is looking at the very cases who, in our mind, we know could be possible, cases of pneumonia or coronavirus and such. And of course, we know not all cough and cold patients have that. But when somebody's coughing on your face 10 times a day, 20 times a day, how do you keep your energy up? How do you not let that thought or fear enter your mind? So I think Amar was also speaking from very direct experience and application that he's doing. And I want to thank you, Amar, for doing that service day in and day out. So friends, now with this affirmation that Swami is telling us, how does it work? Well, first of all, Yogananda ji said that healing, as many of you must have heard, it happens on a consciousness level. There's consciousness from which thoughts, energy, and matter are produced. For us to do this webinar, we had a thought first, then we gave it energy, and then it becomes a reality. And today we are speaking of consciousness and thought alone. Now, please do not underestimate the power of thought to heal us, or on the contrary, as Yogananda ji was saying in that quote, to put us into the very situation which we are afraid of. I'll share this favorite example of mine from Swami Kriyananda ji's book, The Art and Science of Raja Yoga, because it's a universal experience. I'll paraphrase and make the story short. He says, okay, it was a weekend, and you had a big party at home gathering. It was a great celebration and lots of people came and it was a good time. People went back home, except that a lot of dishes were left back for you to deal with. And comes Monday morning, you look at those dishes and you say, oh God, I forgot to do them in the night. I told myself I'll do it in the morning, but now I have to go to work. I'll do it in the evening. So you come back and those dishes are still looking at you, and you had a long day at work and you're saying, oh God, what do I do about this? Maybe I'll work on these tomorrow morning. First thing, I promise myself, I just don't have the energy to go through these dishes. And just in that moment, you get a phone call. And your best friend from college, who you haven't met in years, calls you and says, hey, I'm in town and can we meet? And guess what? He's on the other side of town. It's already night, but you say, of course, let's meet up. You go for dinner, you have a good time. and you're so happy about this occasion. And Kriyanandaji asks the question over there. You had no time, no energy to do those dishes. How did all this super abundance of energy come to meet your friend? And it came from, you might say, our likes or dislikes, or from a thought. When we are willing to do something, it is, we are given very little time. Whenever, and that it ties into willingness. Can we do this? And if we take that initial habit or impulse of saying no, of thinking about it, of pushing it again and again, then we don't have energy even for the smallest things. So please bear this in mind, friends. As you wake up, as you go to sleep, think of this as something which is going to benefit you. And you see, energy has two sources. There's an external source which brings us energy, and then there are energies which almost like spring from inside of us. That's why peace is also called inner peace, because it is implied that there are outer things which also give us peace. So think of this as an inner energy which is coming from a thought that you are holding on to. So for this evening, I've chosen this affirmation that Ananda Worldwide is repeating. This is called God's Light. And please sit up straight and let's practice this together. We have a few minutes, about 5 minutes. Straighten your spine, close your eyes. Bring your focus to the point between the two eyebrows. Imagine a light there. And please repeat loudly at first, then in a normal voice, finally whispering, and later we'll just repeat this mentally. God's light is within me and around me. With the sword of faith in my hand, with the love of God in my heart, I am a warrior of light. I join my brothers and sisters everywhere to overcome fear with faith, hatred with love, and disease with health. Let us fill the world with God's light. God's light is within me and around me. With the sword of faith in my hand, with the love of God in my heart, I am a warrior of light. I join my brothers and sisters everywhere to overcome fear with faith, hatred with love, and disease with health. Let us fill the world with God's light. Now whispering with deep concentration. God's light is within me and around me. With the sword of faith in my hand, with the love of God in my heart, I am a warrior of light. I join my brothers and sisters everywhere to overcome fear with faith, hatred with love, and disease with health. Let us fill the world with God's light. And finally, only mentally, feel the power, reality behind these words. Putting them into manifestation with deep faith and concentration. God's light is within me and around me. With the sword of faith in my hand, with the love of God in my heart, I am a warrior of light. I join my brothers and sisters everywhere to overcome fear with faith, hatred with love, and disease with health. Let us fill the world with God's light. And holding on to this affirmation, let's close with a prayer, inviting God's grace and blessings to our efforts. Beloved Father, Divine Mother, great masters, beloved Guru Paramhans Yogananda Ji, saints and sages of all religions, we humbly bow before you all. Great masters, thank you for the gift of your teachings. Help us put them into practice in every moment of our lives. May we realize your presence and your light within ourselves. Let's rub our hands together now. Share this blessing and this affirmation with the whole world. Shanti. Thank you, Amar. Thank you, friends, for organizing this webinar. And thank you all who joined. Jai Guru. We'll see you again in the next webinar. Let's apply these teachings, the simple practice of affirmations, keeping our thoughts high-minded, using our meditation, using energy, pranayam, sun exposure, all those things Amar has shared so far, and seeing how we can keep our energy uplifted and relaxed all the time. Thank you.